So, yeah, I mean, by any means, I do not look like someone who knows blockchain. I'm wearing a suit, I'm wearing a tie, I'm in Berlin, completely out of my areas and comfort zone. But yeah, I am from E.ON. There's my clicker. Thank you very much. So I'm from E.ON. E.ON is an electricity and gas company. If not many of you know about it, just a few lines. We are present around in 13 odd countries, 55 million customers. We supply gas and electricity to them. Quite a big European position, and these days also a bit quite part of the discussion when it comes to the new energy market designs, because what's happened with the war in Ukraine. So now, but I am here to talk a little bit about innovation projects. So I am responsible for some of the strategic projects that we are doing in innovation, and I thought it might be interesting to get a feedback, because nothing that I'm going to say has not already been done. I have heard most of this discussion that I had, and also I have been talking in the industry for the last couple of months now during this year, and I've come to realize anything that I can think of in blockchain has already been done. The only problem that is missing is good business model, good enterprise scale use cases, so how we can actually help to bring these things together. And one of the idea when somebody says, okay, from 1 year from now, what do you think it should look like? And my reply was that in 1 year from now, we shouldn't be talking about the technology, but we should be talking about the applications that are running on this technology. Because nobody talks about the internet, right? We all talk about all the applications that run on the internet, and the great usabilities on our mobile phones and our laptops and all of LinkedIn or whatever you want to call it, Instagrams. We don't talk about how they work behind the screen. We talk about what service they provide. So we should be actually talking about the kind of services now we will be running. So let me give you a peek preview on some of the projects we are working. By no means they are products at the moment. They are starting their journeys, and they are on different stages, and and let's see where will they end up. So decentralized sustainability projects, or the suite that we call. So we have 3 projects that we are doing at the moment in this strategy, where we are using different technologies, but it's only for the people who want to talk about technologies. I wrote something there. But actually, each project is a use case which is independent of what technology we use. For example, for Project Ox, I will explain a little bit. The technologies are a mix of simple, literally normal Web 2.0 kind of stuff, but at the same time mixed with something Web 3 as well. But when it comes to the Project Green Cipher, it will be very much connected to the Web 3 technologies, but then it will be also have some IoT part, it will have some digital twin part, and all of that come in. And when it comes to the green power projects that we want to do, it will have a lot of financing components of it, will be developed in it. And we don't even know how much it will be there, but we are keeping an open mind that no matter what technology goes in it, it doesn't matter. What matters is, will it deliver an impact at a scale that we need? So, and one of the other things, the principles that we keep reminding to ourselves is that these are the projects that we cannot do ourselves. This is one thing when it comes to sustainability topics that we have realized, and it was a parallel revelation on the Web3 side as well. In sustainability, no one company can become sustainable if everybody around them is unsustainable. Same thing like Germany cannot become sustainable if Ghana isn't. This is the kind of a race that we all have to win. Otherwise, everybody's going to be a loser. So once we realized that, we started to look into also business models that will be more inclusive. And when we started to think about inclusive business model, then we started to think about the layer that is going to support those business models, and it will all come down to, Web3 seems like a good characteristics that it has, that it can support these kind of business models. So Project Ox is we want to decarbonize the world at an unprecedented scale. Yeah, it's a big mission we put out there. If it's not big enough, that we think it's not good enough. So what it's supposed to do is to, first of all, it's going to have simply carbon credit exchange, and there are like hundreds of them out there. Don't get me wrong, we are not inventing something new, we are actually doing a partnership. But the things that we're going to do a little bit different over here is that we are creating we are collecting a massive amount of demand from a hard to abate sector. I am a hard to abate sector. I have a huge gas position. I mean, a lot of stuff over here that you see that are running. Not everything can be converted today into green power. We have still a journey. Hydrogen has to come in. We still have to turn everything into green energy coming from on the electric side or something like this. The world is running on 39% of the energy in the world is still running on coal. So all of that is still existing. Those are the realities that exist. So how can we still figure things out? So we want to bring the hard to abate sector together, and we want to start investing in certain ways that will reduce the life of these long-term, high-emitting assets by a business model from the carbon markets that will actually finance the remaining life of these high-emitting carbon plants or something like this, and then we can actually create carbon credits that we can trade. So carbon markets exist, but different innovative business models at a scale may not be existing. And we have some things that we are talking about at the moment with a lot of companies. Hopefully it will come out. This journey has already started. We got approval from our board to start this company, and I think we're going to be opening doors in Q2 2023. Project Green Cipher, this is the one that I will go a little bit more detail today as well, but this is about what kind of things we can do digitally as well. It started something simply from a thought process. If we are working on making a physical world carbon neutral, is it also possible to think about as an energy company, and we are one of the biggest, we as energy industry, biggest OPEX, somebody said in the morning or somewhere else in the conversation, when it comes to the Web3 technologies, then how can we also play a part over there? So we started to look into it, we started to talk to a lot of people about it, and the idea was, can we make this world a little bit greener? But then when we dig deeper into it, we found out it wasn't the digital world that we can make greener, but the first foundational layer is, what are we trying to make something green? Is it the people activity? Is it organizational activity? Is it the assets that could be a car or a building or my own infrastructure? I have a massive amount of infrastructure installed all over Europe. EVs are running all over Europe or everywhere in the world. So we thought it might be interesting to start with the basics and work with companies and ecosystem to develop a foundational layer of the ID management system. And I've heard from many presentations, everybody has shown, they have ID management, they have ID management, they have ID management, and all will be invited to actually work together because we have use cases. If you have a solution, we have use cases, and we need to find a business model, and we have some business model through which we can work together in this project, how to turn those ideas into an actual projects and actual implementations. And the last one is the green power. It's still in the making because it needs the first two elements. And what does that mean over here is that once we have all the IDs in place, once we have all the, let's say, some of the projects which go into this journey with us and turn their assets into IDs, what can we do with them? And this is where the business model of financing comes in. We are looking into things like, or asking the industry to guide us, to educate us, if we want to invest in renewable projects in Ghana or Chad or somewhere, anywhere in the world, or even in the US or in Germany where, for example, there is a coal plant running somewhere, if we want to turn and shut it down, and what kind of a financing model that everybody in the world can participate to shut it down and then refinance it by something else, or could be financed by carbon market, could be financed by, so however they will be financed, there's the money is available, but the governance point and the inclusiveness point, how they can be done, we thought again, if we can start tokenizing and using the blockchain as a technology, as a layer for transactions, it might become easier rather than the way the usual stuff goes, which is the power purchase agreements and these kind of things. So let's go for a deep dive on the project Green Cipher. I don't want to say Cipher. We started to call it Cipher just as a easier one, but then we realized, oops, there is some company already exists, Cipher, and we don't want to get sued. Everybody likes to sue sometime, an energy company, I don't know why. So yeah, so we said, okay, let's call it a Green Cipher. It's anyway a project, so we're not calling it. So I don't understand this slide myself. Some technical guy built it, but what somebody is trying to tell you over here is that there are two parts to this Cipher or Green Cipher wallet over here, that how these three layers will work. So if you imagine a normal wallet is anybody can build it, there's not a problem, and many are out there. But we said about main thing in that wallet that we want to bring and work with the industry is three level of identities. One is at an individual level, one is at an organization level, and one as the asset level. For example, I'm sitting with 55 million customer IDs. As an energy company, sometimes you take my bill to your government office or to your bank or to somewhere to say, yes, look, it says my name on it. Even I was simply on opening a company on my company behalf, they said, can Naveed provide his telecom bill or his utility bill? So in the utility bill, my address is written. So there was some KYC that we can do. So we were thinking about if the wallet have IDs which are networked but not shared at the same time. So privacy versus security, if we can use that. And use the power of the companies like maybe E.ON, maybe Deutsche Telekom, maybe, I don't know, 20 other companies, but they don't go against the GDPR, but they still be able to verify, yes, he is a resident here, yes or no questions. So this kind of zero knowledge based identities management, if can be done, I can simply log in any website, buy a pack of beer, and I have no problem to verify my age without giving my passport or ID and things like this. Same thing happened with our supply chain management. We have billions of dollars we spend every year, every year on our infrastructure all over Europe. We spend this money with the supply chain. So we also want to see if we can get them to the ID into this system, and then they can also, if they need to now work with, let's assume it's ABB, and they need to now work with ENBW or somebody else, the same contract, they don't have to go through the KYP, know your partner, and these kind of things again. Now, at the end, we do not want to own this thing. Maybe it will come somewhere. Yeah, just to maybe quickly, I'm getting a signal I need to speed up. So we don't want to own any of this stuff because we don't think we want to become a Google of next time and start owning all the identities of people or sitting on them or anything. And we want to comply with the European regulations because we like them the way they are, the GDPR and everything. It provides a really good basis of security and privacy. But at the same time, we want to provide people, assets, and organization an ability to move quickly, freely, and do transactions on the web. Without sharing too much detail, because with all the hacks that are happening, with all the IDs, organizations are becoming less and less inclined to hold all the information of the company, customers, and people. So what we have done on the project Green Cipher so far is we have done the white paper. It's coming out December 9 in Zug. We will do a small event with family and friends companies. We're going to share it. We're going to also share it with this group over here as well. And then we're going to look for two things. I'm going to look for business partners who will bring the use cases. I am going to be one of the business partners in this organization. I am the E.ON, so I have the use cases around my assets. There is another company, petrochemical company, immediately they say, oh, I have a use case around supply chain, and we spend money all over the world, and we want to also know. And then we will be looking for technology partners because we know this already exists, technology layer exists, but now we will have give both of these people a business model and say, okay, if you work under this business model, you take care of the business risk, and you guys take care of the technology risk, then we are talking. Otherwise, you will never be able to scale into the business environment if you are asking the business to take the technology risk. And the same message is to the business. If you continue to not take the business risk, you want everything for free, it's also not going to work. And then implementation hopefully will start the day after. This is a little bit on the thing that I explained last time, concept, commitment, and commencement. In the commitment phase, what we are asking is, let's put together an actual proper a governance council on this thing, because as I said, I don't want to own it. It will be all the companies that are willing to join. They have to meet at least 2 of the 3 criteria. Either they bring the use case. If you don't bring the use case, then you have to either do the 2 of the other things. But if you bring the use case, you can do only one of the other things, because this is the only way you can actually create a commitment between the industry and the technology providers. And I have launched many projects, built companies, invested in startups, and one of the things that is always missing is skin in the game. If people do not have skin in the game, everybody's talking. Everybody has a solution, everybody wants you to buy it, but nobody wants to take a risk. And this is a kind of industry where we need to share the risk. So this is a risk-sharing model that we want to put in place, and then we will take it from there. So I want to finish it quickly. We're definitely looking for developers, we're definitely looking for partners, and please join us once we issue the paper, and we look forward to the conversation. Thank you.
And I think we don't have time for any questions, but maybe later on. One question? Still? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, one question. Does anyone have a question? Yes.
How can we connect with you for being a technology partner?
You have my email address, so there's not a problem. But what I was thinking about is how I connect and share our white paper and call for partnership with all the group here. So I would be interested, maybe talk to the Burchain group, because most probably they have everybody's contact details, and also the partners, impact partners, Berlin partners. Yes. I will be also sending them the link and the white paper as well, and a call for collaboration.